baseball is casting its spell with frightening effectiveness. 100 years of bats in the ball field haunt the hallowed grounds of all big league houses. An old wizard with a fresh potion means curses and voodoo from a renewed brew. Seems like witchcraft, this craft which comes with a wave of a magic wand. Special powers so potent and spooky conjure up scary images of the past. Some eerie hitting, pitching hocus pocus hypnotizes with uncanny sleight of hand. But the hand is quicker than the eye, and we've got sights that mystify. So you just sit back and watch it all on This Week in Baseball.
Over the past few years, Minnesota Walleye
Runaway. Opening day at Fenway Park in Boston was a blowout for Sparky Anderson's tough Detroit Tigers. Baseballs have been looking like beach balls to Tiger batters who struck for 8 runs in the first inning and powered their way to a 13-9 win. The Tigers were off to this year's best Major League start and the best in their history at 9-0. Even the scorekeeper lost track of the Tiger attack as Detroit took firm hold of first place in the East, while the Red Sox got off to their worst start since 1972 at 3-6. The Tigers were also purring on defense, matching a Major League record with 6 double plays in the game, most courtesy of Lou Whitaker at second and Alan Trammell at short.
Lou and Allen, in my mind, are probably the best double play combination in baseball.
Of the 26 teams, I can honestly say this, that catching, second, short, and center field, there's no other team that could put 4 people up the middle and match us. A lot of clubs, you know, might be good up there, but they couldn't match us up the middle. We're the best club defensively right down the middle.
The Tigers have pounced on everybody with all the ingredients. Gritty defense, good pitching, and hefty hitting. And when they did it to the Boston Red Sox, the Sox showed their frustration. In the West, the Oakland A's sounded A-OK against visiting California. The Angels took the opener, and in the top of the 9th of Game 2, pinch hitter Jerry Narron stepped up with Oakland ahead 1-0. Going, it is gone, and the game is tied. But in the bottom of the 9th inning, the A's put a man on for Carney Lansford to play hit and run with. Lansford single moved Dwayne Murphy to third. Pitching for the Angels was low baller Tommy John, looking for his first decision of the year. But this time, Tommy was a little too low. A wild pitch, and that evened the series at a game apiece. A's manager Steve Burrows faced a 3-3 tie in Game 3 when Jim Essien came to bat in the bottom of the 10th. Essien's first hit of the season, it's a home run, and it wins the ball game. But the A's weren't about to run away from California. In the finale, Reggie Jackson continued to serve notice that he's still a force. He connects on his 3rd home run of the year, raising his RBI total to 10. Brian Downing came up in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded and promptly unloaded them with a grand slam. The Angels took a 10-0 lead after 2 innings and went on to win it 12-8. After Doug Corbett was recalled from the minors by Angel manager John McNamara, he came through with 3 1/3 no-hit innings for his first save. But despite the series split, Oakland still held the early division lead. Dave Kingman put the A's in first with a slam-bang performance against Seattle. In the first inning, Kong cracked a grand slam, number 12 in his career, leading all active major leaguers. Signed by the A's before the season, Kingman belted 2 more homers his next 2 at-bats for 8 RBIs in a 9-6 win. It was the 5th time Kingman has had a 3-home run game, one behind all-time leader Johnny Miles. Also, the third time he had 8 RBIs in one game. Behold the baseball bat, a big league hitter's best friend. You know, fans, bats are made with uncommon care and precision by several manufacturers. And this year, Hillerick and Bradsby celebrates the 100th anniversary of its famed Louisville Slugger.
There is one thing I would like Louisville to do for me for their 100th anniversary. Most people consider that for a good bat to have wider grain because you've used less wood and it makes it a little more solid. Well, lately my grain's been looking like typewriting paper. I mean, it's real thin, so I mean, let's make just one tree trunk for me next time, okay, Louisville?
Major leaguers paid plenty of attention to the details of how their bats are made. And you know the man who many consider the purest hitter of all time? He paid more than anybody.
Ted Williams evidently was a perfectionist, and he used to come to our plant in Louisville and actually crawl through our timber yard and pick out his own raw timber.
The Splendid Splinter was a fitting nickname for a career .344 hitter. The last man, by the way, to bat over 401 seasons.
I always use the light bat. There's no question that a lighter bat, one you can handle, is going to give you a chance to wait longer, and the longer you wait, the less you're going to be fooled.
Since I've used a lighter bat, I feel quicker. I'm getting every bit as much distance on the ball and hitting for a better average because I can stop on breaking pitches and I can hold up on pitches that I don't think are strikes at the last second.
Most power hitters, given their natural talents, some basic ingredients are linked to bat speed. And it's certainly a lot easier to get a 32-ounce bat going than it is 35 or 36, 37 ounces.
Besides weight, the other aspect of a bat that big leaguers give special consideration to is its handle size.
It's a real thin handle. The head is just taped a little bit. The reason I use a thin handle bat is I can put my fingers around the bat so I can get the head out, and when it comes through, it won't be back here when I want it up here. So the thin handle makes the bat go through the strike zone, hit the ball on the nose, bases loaded, over the fence, 4 ribbies, we win the ball game.
I try to spray the ball from line to line on the entire field, and a balanced bat that's not too heavy and not too long gives me more ability to cover the whole plate and make more consistent contact.
I just started switching about a year ago. I talked to Al Oliver, who's probably one of the best hitters in the National and American League, and he just feels that if you have better bat speed using a smaller bat, and it helped me out a lot last year. I probably had one of my better years offensively and defensively, so I'm going to stick with it this year.
I'll start out the season using a 33 or 34-ounce bat, and as the season goes along, you come in August and September, when you are a little bit weaker, you don't have that stamina that you had to start the season, then I'll drop an ounce and a half sometimes.
I use an 899 bat. It's something I started using back when I was with the Expos in about 77 when Earl Williams was over there. He brought the bat from Atlanta. It was Aaron's bat, and it was pretty good for Henry Aaron, and I thought that maybe I could do pretty good with it.
Question. Has an evil spirit been haunting Cleveland's Municipal Stadium? The bewitched and bewildered Indians brought in a self-proclaimed sorceress to lift a curse allegedly cast by Bobby Bragan after he was fired as manager in 1958. The tribe has finished better than fourth just twice since then. On Friday the 13th, the woman known only as Elizabeth did her hocus pocus. Next day, Cleveland beat defending champion Baltimore in the home opener. Spooky, maybe kooky. Milwaukee reliever Raleigh Fingers appears to have lifted his long injury curse. The man with the most saves in baseball history got 2 more in consecutive wins over Kansas City, his first since September 2nd, 1982. Now, it's time for this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the 1984 models. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. Chicago White Sox pitcher Lamar Hoyt lost the game last July 24th, but since then, 15 straight wins for the '83 Cy Young winner. The American League record is 17, shared by Cleveland's Johnny Allen and Baltimore's Dave McNally. Now, for this week's quiz, who holds the all-time record for consecutive wins? Stay tuned for a King of the Hill. National League Sky High. In St. Louis, the Cardinals of Whitey Herzog faced Pittsburgh. And in Game 1, Ozzie Smith had his game face on. A 3-run blast for the Wiz. Just his 7th homer in 7 years. But it broke up a 1-1 game and gave the Cards their home opener before more than 45,000 fans. Dave LaPointe posted the win, going 7 innings and striking out 5 to square his record at 1-1. Game 2, leadoff man Lonnie Smith opened the first inning with a twisting fly that fell just beyond the reach of Amos Otis. The result, an inside-the-park home run that stood up as the game winner. Danny Cox lasted only 5 innings, but that was enough to collect his 2nd win without a loss as the Cards won it 7-5. In the finale, George Hendrick gave the Cards all the offense they needed. His first inning groundout brought home the only run of the game as St. Louis swept the series. But the bird who really put the muzzle on Pittsburgh was reliever Bruce Sutter, who saved all 3 games to give him 4 already this year. Sutter gave up just 1 hit in 4 2/3 innings of work against the Pirates. In his first 6 appearances this year, Sutter pitched 10 2/3 innings without allowing a run. In the West, San Diego is stepping out strong, going toe-to-toe with visiting Atlanta. That's it. Tony Gwynn ignited the Padres at the plate, at least 2 hits in every game, a .563 average for the series, and 4 runs scored for 23-year-old Gwynn. And Tony had no trouble keeping his feet on the ground. Stole 3 bases against the Braves to raise his total to 5. Go, Tony, go! New Padre Greg Nettles found his form. After starting the season slowly, Nettles went 3 for 8 against Atlanta and drove in 2 runs. Dave Dravecky has been a demon in relief. He picked up a save, and in 5 straight appearances overall, Dravecky did not allow a run in 12 2/3 innings. Eric Shaw shut down the Braves with 7 strikeouts in 7 innings for a 2-0 start this year. And Goose Gossage is giving the Padres everything they hoped for when they signed him. He collected 2 more saves in the series to lead the league with 5 overall, as San Diego took 3 out of 4 from struggling Atlanta and ran off with the best start in the league at 10-2. Down under the Astrodome, things were looking up for Houston. The Astros began the season a discouraging 1-6, but then they flexed their muscles in 3 games against Cincinnati as Astro fans kept the faith. Craig Reynolds replaced injured Dickie Thon at short and showed no drop-off in defense while hitting .455 against the Reds. Joe Niekro set his sights on his first win of the season in Game 1 and got it by knuckleballing his way through 7 2/3 shutout innings. Red starter Mario Soto was equally effective, throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings. But in the 7th, newly activated Kevin Bass broke up Soto's no-hit bid, and a misplay by Dave Parker allowed Bass to advance to 2nd. One out later, Jerry Mumphrey came up against Soto. Mumphrey went the other way with the ball, but this time Dwayne Walker made the misplay, and Bass came around to score the only run of the game. Houston manager Bob Lillis was looking for more offense in the next 2 games, and the Astros gave it to him. 13 hits in each game and a total of 15 runs for 2 victories. Knepper registered his first win of the year in Game 2, striking out 7 in a complete game performance. Reliever Frank DePino got his first save in the opening game and his first victory in the finale, thanks to Phil Garner. With 1 out in the bottom of the 9th, Garner delivered the game winner as the Astros swept Cincinnati to get back in business. Here's an odd sign: sweet swinging pitchers. Fernando Valenzuela got 2 hits and 2 at-bats for Los Angeles in a home game against San Francisco. The second on a seeing-eye bunt, although the Dodgers lost the game. The next day in Houston, Jerry Royce went 1 better, 3 for 3 with an RBI and a victory over the Astros. Royce didn't get the win, but overall a mighty fine 5 for 5 at the plate by Dodger pitchers. Now, let's pitch in with the answer to this week's Volkswagen quiz. Carl Hubble holds the big league mark for consecutive wins with 24 during the 1936 and 37 seasons. But King Carl is best known for his 1934 All-Star Game successive strikeouts of Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin. In 16 years with the Giants, he compiled a 253-154 mark. Monkey around and go ape. But big leaguers like to don a disguise only when a baseball plans a surprise. Hey, man, don't flip out. There's still more to play. It's plain to see that this is getting out of hand. Hello, Fernando. Goodbye, Big Al. Nice try, Chet Lemon. And I reckon that'll do it for now. Just one word for what often occurs on the field. So let's get a good look at some great plays. At the top, the Cardinals' Ozzie Smith. Carlton Fisk with a gun, Chicago White Sox. San Diego's Greg Nettles. Dave Parker, Cincinnati Reds. Fred Lynn, California, with a live arm and a dead eye. Toronto's Alfredo Griffin and Willie Upshaw. San Francisco's Al Oliver on back and on track. Bob Horner, Atlanta Braves. The Rangers' Wayne Thomason. New York Met Jose Oquendo on the rebound. Cleveland's Julio Franco. Ron Cey, Chicago Cubs. Mel Hall, same team, same result. And finally, an encore for the Angels' Freddie Lynn. Now it's time for the Big Stick Player of the Week Award, brought to you by new improved Old Spice Stick Deodorant and Antiperspirant. Pete Rose is this week's winner. In his first home game as an Expo, Rose became the second player. Now it's time for the Big Stick Player of the Week Award, brought to you by new improved Old Spice Stick Deodorant and Antiperspirant. Pete Rose is this week's winner. In his first home game as an Expo, Rose became the second player ever to crack 4,000 career hits. Ty Cobb had 4,191. It came on the 21st anniversary of his first big league hit. and just a day before Rose turned 43.
Probably won't be too many guys get that. Won't be as many get that as got 3,000, and that's why it probably means a little bit more.
The remarkable career of Pete Rose reads like its own record book. Most 200-hit seasons with 10, most at-bats with more than 13,000, most games played in the National League. He won Rookie of the Year and MVP awards, and for the 1970s was named Player of the Decade. In 1978, Rose hit safely in 44 consecutive games, tying Willie Keeler's National League record. In that same banner year, his 16th and last with Cincinnati, Rose collected career hit number 3,000. Rose set the National League record for base hits on August 10, 1981, in his third of 5 seasons with Philadelphia, to break the mark of Stan Musial with hit number 3,631. Still playing like a youngster in his 22nd big league season, Rose has earned the respect and admiration of baseball fans everywhere with his hustle, intensity, and desire. 15 times an All-Star, he's played on 6 pennant winners and 3 world champions. You get our call, Pete, so congratulations. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
Now you owe me $4 million.